What the? Is that an Ewok mask?
No, it's just a random mask I have. Hello.
Hello.
This is
I
this
thought for a
is
second it was like something out of Five Nights at Freddy's.
it's this guy's Mr. Flufflekins.
Oh.
He's my buddy.
From FNAF?
Fan me? After a fashion, I had a little fun with it. I did play a little bit, but not crazy fan.
Okay, I'm.
You just look shocked.
Yeah, so.
I
What were
was
we doing here again? Hold on a second. Let me get my thoughts together. So, yeah, I said that I was gonna do, Star next, as my first video after changing my channel from Kumite World to Blood Moon Bobby. But I thought, we should do a couple, like, I guess you can say normal or typical trail reactions before we get to that, because it was funny when I was like preparing for this change. I made like a cover photo for the Star discussion, and I was like,
Ooh.
I think people will think we'll be fanboying and that we're like some radical anti-Star, anti-Tom Star thing, but
Didn't matter.
and I'm just
Didn't
like, yeah.
matter.
And also, the reason like I brought up this is Star Wars: The Last Jedi teaser reaction was I was literally at a Disney store outlet near me, and I saw on the screen something from Lucasfilm, and I saw the island from the very ending of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and I was like, first of all, they released a Last Jedi teaser, and two, don't look. I instantly like put on my earbuds and started listening to like music to think like nope. I'm doing a trailer action when I get home.
Happy thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was so hard to avoid. I mean, I didn't see much. I can't really recall. All I remember seeing was, I think it was Ray, and I definitely saw a Finn, but I can't really say. But that's really about it.
Oh
So,
man.
did
Oh
you see
man.
it? Did you even hear that? I didn't even know there was a.
I have a memory. I don't want to trust that memory of seeing something regarding The Last Jedi, but I have absolutely no recollection what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, when are they gonna release some kind of teaser? Like, they didn't even release anything at Comic Con. At Comic Con, nothing. Like
I'm not
D23,
surprised.
nothing.
I'm not surprised.
Like, not even at
Not
like
surprised.
D23. I'm just like, why not?
Because they don't want their stuff getting out prematurely. It's a
Prematurely.
serious problem. Yeah, that's why a lot of franchises won't release any sneak peeks at conventions anymore, because people will go into the panel and be like low key taking out a camera.
Yeah,
Like,
even though they say at Comic Con, please don't film. And you know what's weird is that this teaser came out April 14th, months before both D23 and Comic Con. So it's like,
oh dang, oh dang.
so it's like, why isn't it? I'm surprised nobody even said something like, "Oh, they showed this in the like Star Wars: The Last Jedi teaser trailer." It's just like, have I been living under a rock, or have I just been busy at my job? It's like, so I can hear about like when DuckTales is coming out, but it's like Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It somehow passes, under the radar for me.
For me, it's a hit and miss. Like, sometimes I'll get a date for a completely random thing, and then for something I've been dying to catch up on, I find out a month, 2 months later that it's updating. I'm like, what? It happens.
Yeah, I guess it happens. I guess before we get into it, as we always do with a franchise based like film, TV show, what is your history with Star Wars?
Um, I'd always been interested, even as a kid. The first movie I remember trying to watch from Star Wars was the third installment of the prequel trilogy that came out in theaters while I was in, I believe it was first grade. Yeah,
That was
and more or less, yeah. And the thing was, after that, I was particularly disappointed, especially since my family, we walked in halfway through the film and we just got stuck there. We weren't even going to watch that film. I just really wanted to watch it, and we were there. And I was like, "Can we go take a peek?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, kiddies, let's go watch lightsaber fights." So we go in, and I'm here waiting for the action. Like, yeah, let's watch Yoda fight, and Darth Vader, and all that cool stuff. And we sit there for like 30 minutes, nothing but talking.
so.
Now imagine like a 6-year-old coming in wanting an action scene and getting like a whole discussion of politics and like why this person doesn't like that person and why they're evil. I'm here just like, guys, when are the lightsabers gonna come out? After that, I didn't really get back to Star Wars until high school. I think it was a junior year, actually. And I really got hooked on the original trilogy. Yeah, episode 5. I know it's very cliche, but episode 5, my favorite. I think you get to see a lot of different places. You really get to know the characters on another level. Excuse me a sec. Oh, so much noise. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But yeah, you get to know the characters that you were introduced to in the first film a lot better. And yeah, from there I've been keeping up.
Including seeing all the prequels?
That's the thing. I managed to rewatch the first one. Because at some point in time I watched the first one. of a vague memory in my mind. But my friend from school, from high school, she took me to go see a screening of it where they were bringing it back for 3D.
And this was the Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah, Phantom Menace. And after that, I tried watching the second one. I went halfway through the second one, and it just completely lost me. So yeah, after that I jumped right back in when Force Awakens came out, and yeah, pretty much it for me.
It's funny. Like for me, Star Wars is one of those things that like I hear everybody talking about, even like my parents, especially like my dad. But the weird thing is, they never showed me the original trilogy. Like, I guess I don't know. My dad was just thinking I wouldn't get into it as much, or because I never asked to see it. But I never asked to see things like, Harry Potter and Indiana Jones, and, I was able to get into those fine. Literally, my first Star Wars movie was The Force Awakens, which I liked. I mean,
That was your first one?
Yeah, I've never seen... I mean, I've heard bits and... Like, I know the basic points of, the Star Wars story arc, but...
I can see
Force
that
Awakens.
Kind of hard to avoid them at this point.
You know me. If it's, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm kind of lenient on spoilers, mostly because they're borderline impossible to avoid. I mean, I heard the saying, "I am your father," like, well before I knew where it came from, So
Fair
the spoilers
enough,
have
fair
almost
enough.
become like, common day language, if you will. But yeah, like my sister saw the original trilogy in her music appreciation class, and she liked it, and now she's begging me to get into the original trilogy, which
I would
I've got
recommend
movies. I've got movies upon movies stacked up. I mean, just today, my mom was telling me about a movie she saw that had John Wayne and Anne Margaret, and I'm like, gotta add that to the schedule. And so, yeah.
That never-ending list of films that you're still planning to get to.
But the good part about seeing Force Awakens, I guess it's partly because it's almost a retelling or very similar to A New Hope, that I was able to get into it pretty easily.
I feel like it's similarities to that really brought out the nostalgic factor for the film.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, that I feel like a lot of people miss that kind of like campy type sort of like lore where it's like, oh yeah, creatures and I mean, we didn't get much of like the creature kind of like animal life type dealio that we did for say like the fourth and the fifth film.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely you get that sense of campiness where it's like, yeah, the rebellion.
Like it's not a straightforward, super serious movie. It has, time to have fun.
Yeah.
Especially like from seeing Force Awakens, I can easily guess that my favorite character in the original trilogy would probably be Han Solo and Chewie. Not just because I'm a big fan of Harrison Ford, but it's just like he's such a sarcastic, dry guy.
So much fun in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up, I was looking forward. Like you wouldn't believe. I was like, hallelujah, thank the gods, Han Solo's back.
Mm-hmm. And he says the line, "We're home, Chewie." And I still remember when we went to go see Force Awakens, there were literally people, not like, woo, loud applause, but you can hear people, like, clapping whenever, like, when Han showed up, Leia showed up. What?
I'm not gonna lie, I went to the midnight showing for it.
Uh-huh.
I screamed along with a bunch of other people who were just like, yes!
Uh-huh. Honestly,
we went out.
Mm-hmm. I honestly wouldn't have minded if there was more applause and such. But yeah, but ever since Force Awakens, I haven't had time to squeeze in seeing more Star Wars movies. I was kind of discouraged to see Rogue One since I heard I think I heard the first third is kind of boring, at least according to people like I've listened to. And did you see Rogue One?
Yeah, I did. I did actually. But I enjoyed it.
You did?
I didn't really see any prominent problems with it. I guess it is a little slow at the beginning, but at least with Star Wars, you kind of have to expect that.
Mm-hmm. How does it stack up?
I thought the ending was pretty good. I'll just leave it like that. I won't say what happens.
Yeah. Where would you put Rogue One as far as best to worst?
If I do a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably do maybe an 8.5.
Where does it rank among the Star Wars movies?
Probably I'd say maybe third. I'll always enjoy The Empire Strikes Back and The New Hope the most.
Mm-hmm.
But right after that, I guess maybe fourth, right after Force Awakens, which is right under those two.
I see. So yeah, but after getting through all this, we're here to talk about The Last Jedi, the one that somehow slipped through my radar.
Yeah.
Seriously though, with all that, I guess I don't want to make it sound like I'm more stunned than I am, but at the same time, it's like it's Star Wars. It should be like one of those trailers where I get up in the morning and I hear, oh, the new trailer came out.
Yeah. You would kind of expect that to be bombarded with notifications, it's out, guys, it's out, new trailer.
Yeah,
I remember when Force Awakens came out. I was in class. We were in a video production class, and all of my classmates, we were like a class of like maybe 8.
Mm-hmm.
All of my classmates were huddled over this one computer screen. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, look, it's so freaking cool!
Mm-hmm.
I'm here like, what? You know, it was just out of nowhere. Like, everyone was just keeping on track, just like taking it out everywhere, you know?
I should also point out that you can also find our Star Wars The Force Awakens discussion videos on this channel. We did a 3-part sort of review where we talked about it after we saw the film. So I'll put links in the description. We did it with our friend Steven Shin. So yeah.
We did that one in person.
Yes,
the 3 of us.
The 3 of us, we got together. I believe it was his place, and yeah, we filmed it.
Yeah, it was his place.
But yeah, so let's check it out. I'm not gonna lie though, like for some reason when I heard there was a Last Jedi teaser, my heart just started racing, and I'm just like, this isn't like Star Wars: The Force of Evil. Why are you so excited? Like,
the hype is real.
Like, while yes, I like Star Wars, like, you know, I'm not like, unfortunately, I'm not like a super fan. I mean, I do want to know, like, you know, who Rey is. Like, there are questions about who's like her family and such. And, you know, we get more, and, you know, I know people want to get more into, and I do, with Kylo Ren, you know? Like, I still remember after we went to go see Force Awakens, Steven kept saying, like, he'll be back. You know what I mean? Or something.
I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not. I really not. I don't like him one tiny bit.
Not even as like he's a cool villain? Or
nope. I hate him. I hate him with a passion.
I guess we can get into that after the teaser. I think we've been...
I remember, I probably said this when we were talking about Force Awakens. It's just, you know, it's like kind of... you know what? Go watch the other one if you want to hear me complain about Kylo Ren. I'm pretty sure I did a good fair share of that over there.
All right. So so without further ado, let's get into the Last Jedi.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Ready for the countdown? 3.
Wait.
What?
Wait. I need one more thing.
Okay.
Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second. I apologize. I should have had this from the beginning, but I kind of couldn't do it with my little surprise I was doing. Hey. I died. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Ready? 3.
Okay. When it comes to audio, okay. Wait, hold on. Talk. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so I'm ready. So 3, 2, 1, yo.
Darkness.
Whoop. Oh.
Ooh.
Right. Lucasfilm.
Breathe.
Yup, this is the one and that was playing in the Disney store.
Wait, they were playing this at the Disney store?
I told you, I looked away. I only saw like a couple.
Oh, that? No, I didn't hear where you saw it.
What do you say?
Oh, there's the guy you hate.
Yeah.
Is that Darth Vader's mask?
Darkness.
Yeah.
The balance. Is so much bigger.
Because Christmas equals Star Wars.
On a red.
Hey!
Oh, he's back. Stuff blows up. Millennium Falcon.
I only know one
Yeah!
truth.
I love Millennium Falcon. end. To end. What does it mean? I have a question. What exactly kind of brought on the idea that when Christmas time comes, all Star Wars stuff, that's when you get into it. That's when people start talking about it,
My only guess is because, aside from the summer, the other big time for movies is, Christmas. Because, that's when the Oscar bait comes out and they're like, hey, I'm guessing it's because, hey, Christmas people go on vacation, they're out of school, here you go. And, because the summer is like usually is flooded with movies. Whereas if it's Christmas, well, yeah, it's still a big season, but, it's not as many, aside from Oscar bait.
That makes sense. Because I've always been confused by that. And, even Christmas merchandise, Christmas Star Wars merchandise comes out, and I'm like, what? Just, baffled at how much, connection there is between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway...
it's so weird.
Quite a trailer.
I'm not one to expect a ton of answers from a Star Wars trailer, but it's just I feel like the main thing I got out of it was Luke the one that said it's time for the Jedi 10? I couldn't tell. It was?
Yeah, that was supposed to be Luke Skywalker. It sounds like Mark Hamill, I'd like to think.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell because
it's not devious Mark Hamill you would get with the Joker or even skips from regular show.
Yeah.
Which I'm still wondering where did they get?
I have so much respect for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He can do so many different roles. It's awesome.
Seriously, who found out that Mark Hamill? Because in the original trilogy, Luke doesn't talk with that devious kind of voice, right?
Right, but I don't know, because the thing is, when you get a part for voice acting, most of the time they're going to want to see you do a voice for it. They're not just going to bring you right off the bat and be like, I made this for you! Mm-hmm. Come over here! Unless they're a well-known, voice actor. Say, someone, a character like Mabel Pines is probably at least partially made with someone like Kristen Shaw, in mind for her.
But that's the thing,
especially seeing that she does stuff like Louise. But I feel like, especially with the Joker, since Mark Hamill kind of it seems like, I don't know the guy personally or keep track of anything, but it seems like he likes to go around kind of just find out different things to do. So probably he just heard of it and he's like, you know what, I'm going to audition.
Interesting. It's kind of I like to think that maybe it was when they heard the audition people that heard Luke, Mark Hamill was coming, and it's oh my God, it's Luke's son. And then when he did his trial and he did devious voice, the people that their jaws dropped. They're just I
can imagine that just
snap.
Be wait, what?
If somebody knows where we first got Mark Hamill's devious voice, please let us know.
Oh, for sure. I'd be completely interested in that. It's so freaking cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as for this show, you seemed really hyped, and I'm just I want more answers. But
well, that's the thing. They want you to have questions in mind so that you can try to answer them when you go watch the film. That's the whole thing with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just can't help but feel the hype for Star Wars. It's so much fun.
Maybe
and
maybe because I'm a newbie when it comes to Star Wars, but I just feel like I have the exact same questions when I went in and the same when I'm out. I'm not disappointed, but I'm basically taking this trailer and saying it's coming for Christmas. This is your Christmas present.
Oh, for sure. And I don't know. I guess maybe I kind of had my fill of asking questions and kind of expecting to be explained everything with the original trilogy. After that, I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever.
I mean, the most I could take from that trailer was when, we can assume Luke says it's time for the Jedi to end. It's just like,
that's the
end
major
of the
question
Jedi?
here.
Like, what
that's
do
the
you
major
mean?
question here. Like, what does he mean? Why is he saying that? But, I mean, apart from that, it's like a whole straight-up nostalgia trip. Like, you got the Millennium Falcon back. You got TIE fighters. You got X-Wings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about those fights between the TIE fighters and the X-Wings. It's just kind of like, oh, yes!
And seeing the Millennium Falcon, I won't spoil Force Awakens, but let's just say me seeing that was like, it's almost like hearing, let's say, a certain character lives on. I know what happens to the characters not coming back, but at least.
And the thing is just, oh no, so much feels. I can't even explain.
Is it the trailer or the Force Awakens?
No, the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Trailer.
But I don't know, is there anything you can take from it other than, this is, ooh, it's reminding us it's coming, and what does Luke mean? Like,
I really didn't expect to get much more out of it. I mean, I feel like knowing more would probably ruin the film.
Mm-hmm. I guess
because that's the other thing. If you throw out all the questions out and all like the little clips out in the trailer, and some people might be able to put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, that's what they're trying to say. Okay.
Look, I don't like it when trailers just like spoil them. But I guess I'm just kind of used to, trailers that kind of like spoon feed you. You know what I mean? Bits.
Yeah,
Not give away everything,
though I feel like, especially with Star Wars, one just kind of like rolls with it at least a bit. Mainly because a lot of people are going in for the nostalgia trip.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, I wonder what they're gonna do next. Are they gonna introduce new characters? But I mean, if they are, I feel like since they've already worked kind of on that with, oh my gosh, BB-8.
Is he coming back? And by the way, my mom is obsessed with collecting BB-8.
We saw him. We got to see him in the trailer. We saw him in the trailer.
Sorry.
He was in the trailer.
Sorry, bro.
I'm just like, brace yourselves. Mm-hmm. BB-8 is coming back.
But
yeah.
So.
Oh man. I forgot where it was. Oh jeez.
I was just asking, is there anything you could take from the trailer, as far as?
Yeah, like I said, it's not really. I wouldn't really expect to get much more out of it. Just kind of like, oh, I remember if they are going to bring in any new characters or anything like that. I mean, they kind of at this point could just do it with the film itself instead of hinting at them with the trailers.
Right.
Because that's really what they did with Force Awakens.
Yeah, I still remember that main trailer was just saying we're back, and then. That's it. If you want to know the story, you have to go see the film, which, of course we did. So,
yeah. So, that can only work so much, though, so,
And the weird
when
thing...
in doubt, go with nostalgia.
And the weird thing is that, Steven kept on, hyping this director, Rian Johnson, the guy who did Looper. Now, as a guy who's never seen Rian Johnson, I don't really know if I can... I mean, again, it's Star Wars. It's not like, you go in expecting, this director... Well, at least watching this trailer, you're watching it for Star Wars. You're not watching it because, the guy who did Looper,
Well, yeah, I feel like that's a majority of people. Don't get me wrong, there are some franchises where you're like, oh my gosh, this director's doing it. Mm-hmm. When there are reiterations of horror films.
But, what I mean by that is, let's say... let's take Indiana Jones for instance. When I watched a trailer for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or Raiders of the Lost Ark, I don't watch it to study, what Spielbergisms is there? How is he using cameras in this? How is he, am I seeing, things I've seen in Spielberg? I'm watching it for Indiana Jones. I'm not really, unless I wanted to, I'm not watching it because, it's a Steven Spielberg film,
Yeah, same.
So, yeah.
And I feel like that kind of also applies to Star Wars.
Right.
I mean,
right.
for me, the only time that I could say I was kind of interested in who was directing it would probably have to be the Chucky franchise. You know, because you got like the first 3 films. First like I want to say 4 films, all directed by like probably 3 different directors. 2, I think it was by David Krishner. One, I don't remember the next one. I don't remember who, and this other director that did Bride of Chucky. But right after that, what really interested me is that the original writer who had come up with the story for it, Don Mancini, who had intended to work on it himself from the beginning. Well, kind of. I mean, I won't say from the beginning, but he kind of saw what they were doing with the story, and he's like, you know what? No, this isn't how I saw my story. I want to do it. So he ended up being able to direct these last 3 films from Seed of Chucky all the way to right now, what's coming up, Cold of Chucky. And the only interest there is that we're going to actually see what the original creator of the story intended.
Right.
Other than that, I can't see why one would really want to work off of a director.
Right.
It's just kind of like, oh, okay.
But yeah, I think I get the idea. Like, to me, I'm not, like, pissed. It's this kind of thing where I'm realizing, oh, this is how you approach a Star Wars trailer. You know what I mean? So... Pretty
much.
Yeah. So I guess, on one hand, it works for me as somebody who's kind of a newbie, but at the same time, it is kind of uncharted territory.
I don't know. Unless you really, really enjoy nostalgia, I don't think there's much more you can really take out of the...
I do get your point.
But I feel like you already know enough of the stuff to catch on to that. Like, oh yeah, that's that thing that we saw back in the day. Everybody likes that.
Yeah, especially like anybody who's seen Force Awakens, whether you're a Star Wars diehard or somebody who just watched it, just to watch it. Like you're able to know who's who and what's going for, at least have some idea of, what's going on. And like I said, Star Wars has just become such a phenomenon that, things like hearing about Luke Skywalker, that's almost like, that's about as like common, to hear, like whether it's from, a diehard or even just somebody who's just like, your average Joe and, at least knows, who Luke Skywalker is and all that. So, yeah, so, it's weird to say I'm coming off this trailer about as hyped as I was before watching it, where, I am excited, but I was just expecting to get... I guess I was expecting, like, a Blade Runner 2049 kind of response, where I'm just, like, my jaw dropped. I was so, like, amazed. But I do get that, this is, how it works. And, yeah, it is, it's so they don't, like, spoil anything.
Yeah, and I mean... It kind of varies with the fandom that comes with the franchise, Different fans are going to ask for different things, And at least with the Star Wars franchise, big factor is nostalgia.
What I am kind of wondering, though, is how some people criticize Force Awakens because it was essentially retelling A New Hope?
I'd heard of it.
Do you think that they're going to pull an Empire Strikes Back, since I heard that this is going to be like a darker movie than Force Awakens?
I don't know. I feel like it would make sense, but I can't really see how. Like, I mean, it would make sense, like, oh, okay, we did one for... that seems to be like New Hope. Let's do like a Empire Strikes Back twist on it. But at least from what we're seeing, I can't really see that happening with it.
About the only thing, I guess, is some people speculate, oh, Luke is Rey's father, which I'll admit, I'm kind of one of the people that's wondering that. I heard Mark Hamill say...
I'm lost. There's so many just like different factors to it. I'm just gonna find out till it's said.
Yeah, I think that's the approach. I mean, sorry if we're not really saying much speculation, but that's the one I keep hearing about.
I thought. I remember we were were doing the Force Awakens one, I'm like, oh yeah, she's their daughter, and you guys just looked at me like, what?
I was like, what? I thought I was like, on board with that idea since I saw, because to me it makes sense. Like, I know, like Steven says, wait till you see Last Jedi. We don't know too much, but I'm just like, makes sense. I mean, I'm kind of wondering, this is a stupid idea, but I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna do a reversal of I Am Your Father. You know what I mean?
You know what? I can see that happening, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I could see.
I mean,
like,
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the nostalgia trip.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. It feels like that's what we're saying the majority of this video, like nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, of course there is also limits. You know, you're gonna be like, okay, this is going too far.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it would make Luke's character go full circle, but I could see somebody saying that sounds really stupid. Like, because on one hand, it's clever because it's Luke, but on the other hand, I can also understand if somebody said that's just cheesy. That's like really, it's like
it's like a pun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a pun, like those dad jokes where it's like, you get what I mean.
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm kind of open to it either way. I heard, like I said, I think I heard Mark Hamill say they're gonna explore Rey's, who Rey's parents are. I don't think he flat out said, like, if he flat out said, you would just see, like, social media just.
Oh yeah, that would have been big news. That would have been huge news.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess. So I guess the best way to put it is that we're definitely hyped. And I guess I did learn something new about Star Wars culture today, as far as
nostalgia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So thanks, Gaby, for coming on. Do you have time to do the Star, not Star vs. the Force to be, but we're talking about the Sony movie, the Star trailer?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
All right. So we'll get that out right after I'm done recording this. I'll be back in a second, Gaby, and thanks for watching, guys.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
All right. So we'll get that out right after I'm done recording this. I'll be back in a second, Gaby, and thanks for watching, guys.